What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another Nintendo Switch and RPG news video. We've got a lot of topics to get into. This one is going to be quite substantial. But before we get into it, guys, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch and RPG news videos first. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into the first topic here. And we're talking about a major milestone, a step for Falcom in Japan, because they have finally confirmed that Ys 10 will be the first game in Japan for them localized on the Nintendo Switch at the same time as the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 in 2023. Now, for those who don't know, Nihon Falcom, they usually do PlayStation first, and then later it comes to the Nintendo Switch, sometimes with the Western release, but just later it comes to the Switch, whether it's in Japan or whatever the case is. And usually Nippon Ichi Software here in the US or NIS, they pick up the slack on localizing and everything, or just doing the game outright. But it looks like, based on their financials, shout outs to my man Stealth 40K who reported on this, that Falcom has confirmed that Ys 10 is coming to Switch, PlayStation 4, and PS5 next year. Also confirming that they are bringing 2 more games to Nintendo Switch before the end of September 2023. So it looks like Nippon Ichi Software, or NIS America, Falcom, they're going to be very busy getting that extra amount of work and make sure that the Nintendo Switch version is ready to go at the same time of the PlayStation version of the game. And it makes complete sense. If you look at the sales numbers in Japan, the Nintendo Switch is absolutely dominating the field, so you kind of have to have that Nintendo Switch version ready. Also, if you look at the Ys games, or if you look at the Trails of Cold Steel, Legend of Heroes, all of those games that launch exclusively on PlayStation in Japan have been dipping in sales for the past number of years. Falcom hasn't been exactly impressed or happy with the numbers, and they have to wait to make up with that with the Nintendo Switch later down the line. But now at this point, they're saying, hey, we're going to have that version ready to go. So whether they're working with NIS in Japan in order to get that done with the Switch, because I still don't think maybe their internal development teams are completely ready, but they did say, I think about a year ago or so, that they were starting, they have dev kits for the Nintendo Switch. So they could be handling it completely by themselves or getting help. Either way, it's being handled internally, and that is a start. So it's very good to see that. I'm hoping that some of the other Kudo games come over when it comes down to it, because we still need those on the Nintendo Switch. So there's going to be more games, more Japanese RPGs from them, and I'm looking forward to it, because Nippon Ichi Software and also Falcom, they make some of the best RPGs out there. The Legend of Heroes is one of those underrated series, in my opinion, and more people are going to get a chance to actually check this out now that they're bringing it to the Nintendo Switch, and hopefully getting better quality of the ports too. So this is definitely a good thing, which in my opinion should roll over to the next Switch, because I think that if you're talking about 2023, 2024, these Legend of Heroes games keep coming, you're going to have to start incorporating whatever Nintendo is doing next as well. So I think that it's going to be pretty fun to see where all of this goes. But what are your thoughts when it comes to Nihon Falcom making sure that they have Ys 10 ready to go for the Nintendo Switch in Japan alongside the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we do have a confirmation based on some of the leaks out there with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that it is using the brand new NPLN netcode system for online that some of the newer titles use on the Nintendo Switch, which overall in the long run is going to get you better play, although there are some issues that are going down. But let's talk about what Mr. Oatmeal Dome has to say about the matter. This guy is noted online for looking through the data and data leaks and all that type of stuff, and basically deciphering what is going on with these games from a technical perspective and everything, or what could be coming down the line, or what online systems they're using and how it benefits the gamers out there or not. So here's what he had to say about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet has leaked to the internet. Scarlet and Violet are now the 5th and 6th games to use NPLN, Nintendo's new server system. actual communication between players is still peer-to-peer using Nintendo's PIA library. Now, also, NPLN first debuted in the Nintendo Switch version of Monster Hunter Rise. It was later used in Pokemon Legends Arceus, Splatoon 3, and Bayonetta 3 for online leaderboards. Now, it provides a number of improvements over the NEX, which was Nintendo's older server system, and he will be talking about the benefits of NPLN in a future blog post. Now, you also have to note here, guys, that this tweet was a specific topic because NPLN is a recurring topic on this account. Now, he will not be posting any data mines for the games. And of course, no download links or anything like that. Watch out for spoilers out there because that stuff is all over the internet right now. And I've pretty much been avoiding them myself, but it's good to hear that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet do use the new NPLN system. There are some rough spots. They're still making some modifications, but Oatmeal Dome has stated in the past that the NPLN system over time will actually be better than what Nintendo did before with the NEX system, because that didn't really support a lot of modern features and other things that you could see in a lot of these games, and the NPLN system does. Now, we've had varying levels of success when it comes down to it. I think that games like Monster Hunter Rise has been fantastic and continue to be fantastic, but that's a smaller scope. The real stress test is games like Splatoon 3, where you're going to have millions upon millions of people playing that game at any one given time. And there's been, once again, varying levels of success. Sometimes communication errors take over, sometimes they don't, but it's all based on the coding within the game as well. So it's not like it's a one size fits all for this. You're going to have varying levels, but like Oatmeal Dome has stated in the past, that over time they'll be able to update this better, they'll be able to fix issues faster, they'll be able to get more features out. So I think that this is the beginning for them, not only with the Nintendo Switch, obviously, but what they're doing next with the next generation Switch, where this is going to become a big part of what they do with their games, because Nintendo makes a number of high-profile multiplayer games like Super Smash Brothers, which that's got to use it for the next one. Obviously, Splatoon 3, the next Mario Kart. So there are a lot of things where this kind of plays into part here, but yes, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet does use that new system. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? When it comes down to it, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is very close to launching as of the time that I'm recording this video. Are you guys looking forward to the game? And what starter are you picking? What version are you going with? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We do have some more information on Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, and the content in this game, because once again, we talk about this game being a remaster. That's what Square Enix has officially labeled it as, but goodness gracious, this might be more of a remake, where Square Enix, even themselves, were smixed. They didn't even know what to call it. Should it be a remake? Should it be a remaster? But since it follows the original story and nothing's really changed from there, they wanted to go with the remaster, but everything seems to just be coming together, being redone, enhanced, and looks so much better. One of the most impressive remasters I've seen in the modern era. So shout outs to my man Genki, who reported on this as well, and he stated that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion will have a total of 300 special missions sent out from Shinra Company to Soldier. By completing them, you can get a variety of rewards such as materia, items, increased equipment slots, and more. So this is the type of content that I love to see in here. You have that extra bit of replay value, right? Where you can go through, you can test out your battle skills and what you could do in the game, get rewards. And that just makes RPGs fun. When you have the challenge missions and stuff like that, and you get the rewards for them, you get maybe outfits and different things. It makes you just want to keep playing more and more. So yes, developers, when you're making RPGs, especially an RPG like this, or if you're remastering games, make sure you include stuff like this. I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3's challenge battle modes. That stuff is awesome as well. So these always have to be included in games and make it very simple or easy to access, to get to. I think that's always going to be something to where I like when they do that. But I love this because Final Fantasy usually does a good job with this type of stuff. So it's good to see that, and this game just looks incredible. I'm gonna have to pick up two versions of the game. I need the PlayStation 5 version, and of course I need the Nintendo Switch version for that portability as well. And once again, no cross saves is the bane of my existence at this point when it comes to PS5 and Switch and these Japanese RPGs. Octopath Traveler, you have Tactics Ogre Reborn. I mean, there's just a plethora of games that just I really wish. This is another one of them because I want to be able to play Switch Portable and then be able to easily transfer over my save file, then play on the PlayStation 5 with my LG CX TV. So I guess it's just my own issue. First world problems here, guys. But what are your thoughts when it comes to this, guys, with Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion? Are you looking forward to the game? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We got a little bit of a discussion, and I might have a bigger video on this because I'm starting to see this quite a bit online and people somewhat misinforming when it comes to what's happening in Japan. Now, on my live stream, I talked about how Nintendo is stockpiling units for their holiday. They are dealing with a chip shortage. I discussed that also in a video where we went over the Nintendo Switch sales as well for the past quarter. They are dealing with the stock shortage. They are dealing with the chip shortages and stuff like that, component shortages, but they did stockpile. That's why we kind of saw some of the sales dip in Japan. There was some sellouts, or there was low stock or no stock at a lot of stores. We haven't seen as abundant in quality, and I think that's because they were prepping and getting ready for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the holiday season, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Bundle, whatever the case is, which Nintendo did confirm when it comes to that. And we're also seeing now with the next week's Japanese Famitsu sales. Now, we did see a number of people come out and say, hey, well, it's dipping a bit. The sales are kind of sliding. Now we need to see next Switch. And it's not going to be dictated by 1 week in the Famitsu, or anything like that. That's not going to dictate when the next Switch comes out. So, I mean, anybody that's trying to push that type of thing, I mean, it's not necessarily the case of what's actually happening. What we're going to see is Nintendo is going to launch the next system when it's actually ready. When the software is ready, when the system's ready, when the OS is ready, when everything's ready, they're going to launch that system, because most of Nintendo's developers, as they've already stated in their financial briefings and everything for the past number of years, that they already have their next generation system, and that they've already invested over 1 billion, or around 1 billion when it comes to yen in games. And that's not all for Nintendo Switch games coming out in 2023 or 2024 or 2025. That's clearly going to be investments for the next generation software. So that stuff's already there. That stuff's already in development, and it will launch when it's ready to go. So trying to pick apart 1 week in Japan, or 2 weeks from now, or next year early, or some type of point, it's not really going to make a factor into it. They're not going to say, oh, all of a sudden, here we go. Oh, sales are dipping. Now we need to release the next Switch. That's just not going to happen. So we need to kind of stop with that narrative, because now with the Famitsu sales for this week, this is October 31st, 2022 to November 6th, 2022, we see that the Nintendo Switch is back up to 90,478 units right before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet launches. They were stockpiling units, clearly, because you don't go from 30-something thousand all the way to 90,000 and all of a sudden, okay, people just decided to buy Switches at this point. No, a bunch of new Switches came in. Also, Mr. David Gibson talked about that as well. So it's good to see that the Nintendo Switch is getting those units out there, but clearly they're not going to be able to sell as much as what they sold before when it comes to 2020 or even 2021. It's going to whittle down, and eventually, yes, the next Switch will come, but 1 week of not having as much stock, or the PlayStation 5 outselling it, or even Xbox Series outselling it, or whatever the case is not some type of sign or factor, or whatever the case is, guys. So just let it come naturally. Trust me, they're working on it. It's probably going to be announced next year. It's probably going to launch in 2024 at some point, but no amount of sales numbers that we see from 1 week to another, or something that happens with PS5 or Xbox Series, is somehow going to rush Nintendo into launching something by like January of next year, or whatever the case is. It's planned, it's calculated, it's coming. But let's not use Famitsu for this type of way, when it comes to it. I just think it's kind of ridiculous. But I do want to talk a little bit more about the sales numbers of some of these games, because games like Harvestella came out, which launched 26,000, not necessarily the highest out there, but actually higher than what I thought it would do. But Harvestella, okay, they're second best when it comes to the top 10 charts. Also, pretty cool hold for Bayonetta 3, another 10,000 units plus, and this doesn't include the eShop, where Bayonetta is in the top 5 in pretty much all regions, Japan as well. So not bad for Bayonetta 3. Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch as well, another 7,000 units plus, almost 8,000, 65,000 units plus for that game. I think that things could ramp up for that as we get into the holiday season, and more people go out there and pick up the Nintendo Switch with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Maybe you pick up Bayonetta, maybe you pick up Persona 5. I mean, there's quite a number of games to get, and it's awesome to see as well the fact that the Eternal Splatoon 3, it seems like, another 51,000 units, which is just crazy as well. Splatoon is one of those games that is going to be on these charts for a very long time. Kind of like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still here, despite it coming out so long ago. number 8 on the Japanese charts, another 7,500 units. I mean, that game is almost at 5 million physical units in Japan. So awesome stuff all around when you look at it with the sales of the Nintendo Switch and also with the game sales as well. And I do think that the units are going to go up when it comes down to it, because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will be launching very soon here. And then of course you have like some other games. We have Dragon Quest Treasures. We also have Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which we discussed. So all of these are going to factor in, but all the games that have already came out when it comes to this year are going to help with this. I think Kirby could get a resurgence as well in Japan. Triangle Strategy, some of these games that came out early in the year are going to help out with the end year sales like they always do usually. So what are your thoughts on this, guys, when it comes to the Famitsu sales and when it comes to all the different stuff that we discussed with Crisis Core, Ease, also Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? There's a lot of content to talk about, a lot of good RPG stuff as well. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we'll see you for the next video. Peace.